If I want to add a new user to the system, like you can go and click add and just manually add them to the system. You can add the information to a spreadsheet and send it, and we can upload it on the back end, or you can use that API and have your HR system send the information electronically. So if I click add, you're going to see this little wizard on the top. And it's basically going to walk you through the different steps that you have to do to add the new employee to the system. So you're going to do profile information, job information, accounting and salary, the settings, and then you can review it at the end. And you can easily tell what fields are required because there's a little red asterisk next to each of them. So the employee ID, it's whatever the firm wants to use. Then I'm just going to your name, and then I can add any other information that I want here if I choose to. And you can also assign pronouns too. That's a new feature that we just added recently. So if you want to assign pronouns to the individual's profile, you can do that. We would put in their email information. Here's the email address. If I want to add additional email addresses, I can do that. You can also add some additional contact information if you want. I can add education information if I want, what school they went to, whether it's grad school, law school, etc. I can pull that in here. If we track interests in the firm, they can pull that in. Once I have all the required fields, I can then just click next. And I can move on to this step 2 with the job information. And again, I can see what fields are required. And by clicking on the drop-down menu, whatever office I want them in. So I can grab Denver. Then I can pick the department. I could say human resources. And then I can pick the position, whatever position I want. So office department position, again, I can add the hire date if I want, and then the system will start tracking that. So I can say the 9th today. If they terminate, I can put a terminate date in there. I can also add their relationships in here if I choose to. Then if I click next, this is where I can add their accounting and salary information. Nothing on this particular tab is required. So if I don't want to put any information in, I can just click next. Now, because I'm adding a user, this is where I can access this information once I add them. But here I can add whatever roles, whatever I want. So I can say, Nate, you're going to be an employee and an admin. And then if you want, you can make any changes that you want to that. I can add the username in here. I can put a password in here. It just can be a generic password because when the user logs in the first time, they're going to have to reset their password. Then again, I can give them access to the different process settings so they can get pulled in to the process. Everything is enabled here, so I can just click next. Once I click next, I'm going to get a tab where I can review all the information I just added. I can pull in and see if everything looks okay. If I need to make changes, I can go back. If everything looks okay, I can click submit. Now, once I click submit, you're going to see a little modal pop up, and it's going to ask me to verify their email address. For users to access Top Performance, 2 things have to happen. They need to have a role assigned to their profile, and their email address has to be verified. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You as the admin can just automatically verify it and say, yeah, I know it's right. Or you can send the email to the user if you want, and then the user would have the ability to verify their email address. So you could do it either way. Just know that if the end user, if you send them the email and they never verify their email address, if they go to log in, they're not going to be able to get in because the system's going to tell them your email address isn't verified. Just be aware of that. So I'm just going to click submit. I'm going to verify the email address, and then that's going to create the profile. So here's Nate's profile. You can see all the information. It's showing 0 day because I put today as his hire date. Tomorrow it'll show 1 day. So you can see that information there. One other thing to go over, you'll notice if I hover over the avatar, it gives you a little camera. This is where you can go to upload a photo. If you want to store photos in the system, you can do it this way. You can drag, drop, or you can browse a file.